All right, welcome back to more Mathia. At this point, if you remember, we're in the FWPS linear equations and inequalities, and you should have finished Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3. Congratulations, you're over halfway done with this module. So we're going to go look at this one, Unit 4. Should say, let's go, next one on your list. If you don't see this, that means that you haven't finished these past three, so make sure you go backwards and finish. Mathia will only let you work in order. All right, we got two workspaces here. I'm gonna click on the first one, say let's go. All right, and we're gonna start with this step-by-step example, meaning that this is one of the workspaces that's assessing you or grading, for lack of a better word. We're going to talk about literal equations. So we talked about these in class probably back in October or November. It was the equations where it asked you to solve for a letter, like this one, like solve for T or solve for V. So we're going to play around with that. So this is a really good review from something that we might not have really focused on since November. Another thing I want to pay attention to in this video is I think this is the first time that we see Mathia's system for solving equations. And it's gonna be different, but we'll figure it out. All right, and plus it's gonna give you the steps here. So first things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all this stuff and clear it all out because we don't need that. That was from the last one. Sorry, I should have done that before I started this. All right, and you know what? Before I even try to do any math yet, I'm just gonna solve this on a piece of paper. And seriously, this is a really good strategy for you to do as well. So we've got this 3t, yep, come here. This system is not great, plus 3 equals 8. Okay. So if I were just solving this on a piece of paper, first step, remember to subtract 3 from both sides. Okay, that cancels these out. You've got 3t here equals, that's 5, right? Okay, my next step then, I want to get rid of the 3. So to cancel that out, I have to divide by 3. Get rid of it. 3's cancel. I've got t is equal to, I like to leave mine as fractions, 5 over 3. But if you want to put that as like a decimal, I think it's like 1.6 repeating. All right, so this is the work as you would do it on a piece of paper. This is what we do in class. Mathia's system is a little bit different. It makes you click what you want to do. It doesn't have you actually type it out. So if we look here, it's highlighted this already for us, but on our piece of paper, our very first step that we took was to subtract from both sides. So when we're on Mathia, we have to click this first button that says subtract from both sides. And you'll notice that it does the subtraction horizontally, like in the same line, whereas on ours, we did it kind of vertically, so we went down a line. That's okay, it's just saying the same thing. It just wants to say, which number did we subtract? Well, the number that we subtracted is 3. So we type that one in there, and you'll notice that it just copy and pastes it over here, which is good, because we know we want to subtract the same number from both sides. Press enter. Hello, computer. Thank you. All right, my computer's being slow, sorry. All right, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna do the same thing on the right side in what we call literal equations. Basically, that's just an equation with no numbers. You can use the exact same process. So first of all, we wanna make sure we know we're solving the equation for t. So it's the same variable that we were using over here in our normal equation. So they want us to say what would be the same step that we did here, but with letters over here. So we'll notice if we kind of look at what this equation lines up with here. Oh, maybe I'll use a different color for that one. Okay. It's f times t plus v equals k. So if we look at how it lines up, the f is like the 3, the t is t, v is like 3, k is like 8. So when we come here and they ask us what do we want to do first, well, we subtracted 3 first in the problem with numbers, so we're going to want to subtract the letter that represents 3 here, and that's going to be the v. So we're going to do the same thing. We're still going to click subtract from both sides. And again, we want to subtract away that variable that represents just like the 3 that was in our problem over here. So that's our v. Click v, press enter. Awesome. All right. Then, you know how on our problem here, we subtracted 3 and I was like, oh, that's 5. The computer won't do that for you. You have to click this button that says combine like terms. That will do the 8 minus 3 for you. So now it's 5. All right. We don't have to do that over here because K and V are not the same letter. We can't combine them. They're 2 different letters. They're stuck apart. So if we look back at our notes, the next thing that we did was we divided by 3 to cancel out the 3 that was in front of T. So I go back here. My job, I have to click the button that says I want to divide both sides. All right. And then we divided by 3. So I type my 3 in here. It copies it to the other side to remind you to do the same thing to both sides. Press enter. Awesome. So we got that same answer, t equals 5/3, that we got when we were doing this. T equals 5/3. We got that done correctly. Now over here, we want to get rid of the letter that's next to the t because it was like the 3 that was over here in our first problem. So we have to do the same thing. We click the divide both sides. And then the letter F, if we look at our notes, was the same as the 3 that's next to the T. To get rid of this one, we had to divide by 3. So in our next problem, we're going to divide by F. Press enter. All right, and that's all you got to do. So you're going to be spending some time solving equations. You're going to learn how to use their system for solving equations, and then do the same steps, but with an equation that just has letters. All right, so we got negative 3b equals 3. Your job would be to divide both sides by negative 3 to solve for b. So you're going to have to click that divide button. Over here, it looks like the u lines up with a negative 3, so you divide this side by u, divide this side by u, so you'd still be clicking that divide both sides button. All right, play around with this. This is your first chance to really get used to this system. Remember that you're going to have to click combine like terms if you want the computer to do the math for you. Like, what's 3 divided by negative 3? Click combine like terms. Sometimes you can say perform multiplication. Right? I don't know if you'll need these exactly in these problems yet, but you've got all of these different options. All right, go ahead and play with it. And when you're done, look at my next video.